Welcome to the Rudick Report. Today is Friday, June 30th, 2023. Please like and subscribe. This week, documents were urgently distributed in several towns within the 16-kilometer region of the Zaporozhe nuclear power plant, ordering their permanent evacuation. Evidently, Ukraine knows the nuclear power plant is going to soon be leaking, perhaps because Ukraine is going to attack it. Of course, this will be blamed on the Russians, and the media will be using the same talking points to push the agenda. I'm not going to read the note in its entirety because I'll butcher the town names, but we'll leave it on the screen for you to read at the end of the video. But the notice in part states the following. By order of the head of the RVA, Yevgen Yetushenko, in connection with the difficult and unfavorable epidemiological situation in the area from June 30th, 2023, the irreversible evacuation of the civilian population living in the following territories of the Nikopol district of the Dniprovsk region was announced. There are 6 areas actually around the plant, encompassing about a 16-kilometer region. I'll leave those town names up at the end of the video. But the question is, why is Ukraine already ordering the irreversible evacuation of these areas when at present time there is no radiation leak? The only logical answer is that Ukraine knows there is going to be a deadly radiation threat, and the only way they could know that is if they are going to cause it and cast the blame elsewhere, giving NATO the excuse they need to openly join the effort when in reality they have been involved all along. Readers are reminded that just last week, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal introduced a very specific resolution in the U.S. Senate which holds that the radiation leak emission from Ukraine, either from a tactical nuclear detonation or from a nuclear power plant, will be considered an attack upon NATO, for which Article 5 of the NATO Treaty calling for collective self-defense would be invoked. What this means simply is that if a nuclear power plant inside Ukraine starts suddenly leaking, NATO will use the leak as an excuse to enter the Russia-Ukraine conflict on the side of Ukraine. Russia has already made clear that if Article 5 is declared against Russia, they will have no choice but to use their nuclear weapons against NATO countries. Stay alert and read between the lines here. Understand the game being played here is ultimately at our expense. Our country is falling apart and our leadership is pushing Western ideologies across oceans. This whole conflict is a clown show, except unfortunately a whole slew of people are already dead from it. And if these people cause a radiation leak, a whole lot more will die as a result from radiation and from the nuclear war that develops once NATO enters the fray. I pray for peace and ask that you do the same, because no one wins here. NATO needs to back off and stop pushing their New World Order nonsense. Until next time, this is the Rudick Report.